Track 8 is called Teeth. Or Thief.
It's Teeth.
It's a Teeth, okay.
It's definitely Teeth.
I wrote it down. I added an H for some reason.
Um,
So I'm writing down T-H-E-E-T-H.
yeah, no, it's definitely Teeth. Oh my goodness. Yeah, everyone thinks you're stupid now. Yeah. Woo. This is the Hypothetically Sound podcast,
hosted by Alec, Randy, and Xavier,
where we take a hypothetical look at the world around us,
exploring the what ifs, maybes, and how comes.
Join in on the unfiltered, raw, and real conversations
as we explore the world around us. Welcome back to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you guys are having a great day. I am one of your hosts, Randy, as always joined by the other host, Alec.
Yo, what's up?
And today we are on album 89, The Fame Monster by Lady Gaga, in Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Alec.
Yeah.
As always, I ask you the same question every time, so we're going to do it again. How much did you know about Lady Gaga coming into The Fame Monster?
Man, she was played everywhere back in like the 2009 to like 2013-ish, or my high school years. Big songs. She wears weird outfits to like events.
Yeah.
She's a very eccentric individual. And most recently, she's going to be in the next Joker movie.
Very true. Very true. Coming off of her smash hit with Bradley Cooper. So yeah, good for her for expanding into the movie world. Oh yeah, obviously as a theater nerd and a theater boy myself, I obviously knew who Lady Gaga was. She was huge, not only just in pop culture in general, but in the like theater world and the people of that culture. Because she's very theatrical in her music. Fame Monster, most of her songs are better seen through art. Like, while they're great listened to, accompanied with her performances and the spectacle she puts on, like, it made her one of the biggest stars in the world when her music came out and when she went on tour.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you think Lady Gaga, you think tour. Like, don't get me wrong, Taylor Swift's tour she's doing now is huge, but I don't think it compares to the spectacle that was Lady Gaga's Fame Monster tour and the ones after. But yeah, for you guys at home that don't know Lady Gaga, probably not true because of all of the fake gossip and fake stories that were released around her when she was at her height. This was Lady Gaga's second album technically, but first studio album. It is a combination, so we listened to the deluxe version, which is a combination of the Fame Monster, which is the first 8 or 9 tracks, combined with her album that came out the year before in 2008 called The Fame. Interscope originally wanted to release it separately, so the Fame Monster was released solely as an EP in some areas, and then eventually they combined them into the deluxe album, which had both albums at the same time. It blew up. It reached number 1 all across the world. It went 5 times platinum in the United States. It went 9 times platinum in New Zealand. So yeah, this definitely blew up across the world and propelled Lady Gaga into the centerfold of music.
Yeah.
She was nominated for a bunch of awards. I think she won like Best Song, Best Pop Album, a couple other things at different award shows. I don't think she ever won a Grammy, surprisingly enough. She was nominated, I'm pretty sure, for Best Pop Album, but I don't think she won. And I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah. So yeah, she actually did win Grammys. I was wrong. She won Best Pop Vocal Album. Bad Romance won Best Female Pop Vocal Performance and Best Short Form Music Video. And then she was nominated for Album of the Year. And then Telephone and Dance in the Dark were nominated for Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals and Best Dance Recording. So yeah, she obviously deserved all of the awards. She is a very talented woman, but we're going to decide in our mind how talented she is. So are you ready to get into the breakdown of this 23-track Deluxe Edition album?
Yeah. Let's get it done. It's very long. It's a hour and 50-minute album, almost a 2-hour album. I did listen to this one in one sitting. I don't recommend that. It was a lot.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot.
At least like if you're not listening to it like as like a recreational thing, like
with friends at a party.
Yeah, listening to it just so you could review it. It's a lot.
Yeah, being critical while listening definitely is different than sitting down and just listening to an album while playing video games or reading.
Yeah,
or whatever you're doing. So yeah, we start with number 1.
The Fame Monster side, by the way.
Yeah, the Fame Monster side. The first 8 tracks are the Fame Monster side, and then we move into the
Fame.
The Fame. So we start with track number 1 called Bad Romance. So what did you think, Alec?
This is a mad strong start to the album, honestly. It shows like the many styles and vocals that Lady Gaga does and is known for, you know. The confidence she has, it's insane. It's a big hit. You heard it everywhere. It's catchy. Her voice sounds real good. You know, it's a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. It is 100% probably one of her most famous songs, at least early on. Everybody knows it. It was used everywhere. It was used in Glee, TV shows, the whole 9. Great, like you said, great start to the album. Very strong performance. Her vocals sound great. Gives you an introduction to what Lady Gaga was growing into. I also gave it an 8 out of 10.
Also, the Fame Monster section of this has each song has a theme that like she used as like inspiration to write it.
Yeah.
A fear monster, right? This one so happened to be Bad Romance, the fear of love monster. Yeah. So I'll tell you each of them as we go through. I got to learn that, and it kind of brings the songs a little bit more depth to them, and I like that. So.
She said after the album came out, she said in an interview that she has an obsession with death and sex. And it relates back to horror films. So it's kind of Fame Monster is an homage to her obsession, essentially. So yeah, then we move to track number 2, Alejandro.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, good song. I hate it because my name's Alexander. So I hear like even to this day, someone asks me my name, I'll say it and they'll start singing it, which is kind of weird to me. But besides that personal hate, it's a super catchy song.
Yeah.
You know. This gives me an image that she's like this really high fashion rich woman that doesn't want to look at anyone that's like poorer than her or she deems as poor.
Yeah.
That you see like in the movies and stuff. Which is cool. I'm glad she can like convey that kind of like imagery through music. It's very interesting. I believe she also like uses separate languages in these songs, like French and Spanish in songs. And she does really well pronouncing. I guess like she's almost fluent in French, which is insane. Yeah. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. It's also the fear of men monster, brother.
Yeah. I agree. No one can deny how super catchy this song is. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you listen to the song. When it comes on, even if you're trying to ignore it, you're yelling out the Alejandro line. Alejandro. Like, you're doing it every time. Like, I was sitting here listening with Alec when he listened to it, and I was just in my own zone, and then all of a sudden I caught myself singing along to the song. It is super catchy. It is one of my favorite songs of hers on the album. It's not my personal like top favorite, but it's up there. I gave this a 9 out of 10, and I agree. It's like when you picture the song, you picture like a nice Spanish town looking over the like the ocean, and she's in a mansion, like looking down on everybody in the street, and then she like sees this one dude that catches her eye, and like the whole time she's like the song's going, she's just trying to catch this guy and get his attention. She does a really good job of putting imagery with her music, which is why I said like her tour was so good, because of all the imagery she portrays in her music.
Mm-hmm.
So then we move to track number 3, Monster. I thought it had a nice funky pop beat. You can't help but to get into a lot of her songs. I think every Gaga song has a unique experience for the most part. Like I've said this a lot with other people, that a lot of the music starts blending. I don't think so much for Lady Gaga. I do think there's enough differences, even when we'll get to it later, when she does use a similar beat in one of the songs. Like even then, it's still different enough. And as I said, there's a reason she was the biggest spectacle in the world for a while. Monster to me is another one of the songs that need to be seen more than needs to be heard. But yeah, overall, I gave the song an 8 out of 10.
It's a song that like has kind of darker lyrics amongst the more upbeat sound to it.
Yeah.
While we were listening, I questioned some of the lyrics that made me look up the song. The song's about the fear of sex, right? It's her fear of sex.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the lyrics, I can unfortunately see people relating to this in unfortunate ways.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, because you just don't want anyone to feel that way in these kind of like intimate moments.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I think it's a solid song. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. And I took a note that I thought the song was about a guy who was a player in trouble that she couldn't help but try to get with. Like you're talking about the lyrics. She has a lyric about she sees the guy, and then she's about to hook up with a girl, and then she asks the girl if she's hooked up with the dude before, and she's like, yeah, I think so, but he's trouble. And then she goes on to try to still hook up with this guy, even though she knows it's trouble. And it like that part of the song relates to her being her fear of sex. Clearly, like you said, she mentions that she did enjoy sex until she was more intimate with someone later on, and I think she's just the type of person that wants to be more mentally intimate with someone before being physically intimate. And I think that's this song kind of, like you said, people relate to it because they're rushing into what they think is the status quo, or what they should be doing when it comes to finding partners, instead of like listening to their heart and taking their time.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, we move to track number 4, called Speechless.
Yeah. This one is the fear of death.
Mm-hmm.
She actually wrote this song after her dad told her that he was ready to die before heart surgery. It's a very vulnerable song. You can hear it in her voice. It's in the lyrics. She put a lot of like heart and soul into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It almost sounds, this is weird to say, it almost sounds like a Broadway-ish show tune Elton John type vibe to me. Which seems to be a theme with a lot of her songs for me, is this like show tuney thing. I gave it an 8 out of 10 because I thought it was a good song. Awkward turtle for real.
No, so I'm gonna say this a lot in this album, and I think it's true for the most part. Because, for example, Telephone wasn't written for Gaga; it was written for Britney Spears by Gaga. I feel like there's a lot of tracks on this deluxe edition that Gaga didn't write for herself, that she wrote for other artists specifically, and did everything so all they had to do was come lay down the vocals, and they turned it down, so she used that song. This is one of them. I feel like, even though you said like she wrote it about her dad and stuff, I don't feel like it was meant for her because it sounds like Miley Cyrus. How she sings it, how she uses her vocals, just the whole sound sounds like it is a song that was meant for Miley Cyrus. And that doesn't make it a bad thing. Gaga's still fantastic. She kills the vocals doing it, but it sounds like she is referencing tracking the song for Miley Cyrus. Like, here, Miley, this is a song for you. This is how you should sound. Now do it. That's what it sounds like to me. I did give it a 6 out of 10. Like, it's a good song. It just, when you go from Alejandro, Bad Romance, into something like this, where it, like, at least to me, and it could be, I could be wrong, or people don't hear it, it sounds like Miley Cyrus. It is let down a little bit from my perspective of what I expect from Gaga in general.
That's fair.
Then we move to Dance in the Dark. I thought, so Gaga is very theater in her lyrics and pronunciation and articulation when performing. She's very clear with her words. This one, I felt the words melded together and sounded mumbles sometimes. I also didn't think the song sounded as polished as other songs on the album. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, that's interesting. This is Fear of Self, by the way. It had an 80s like girl power ish vibe to me.
Yeah.
Even though the lyrics were definitely not like girl power ish, it had that feel.
Yeah.
The lyrics in question are about her trying to be herself, but struggling and being insecure with herself due to influences. And in this case, it's her boyfriend, but I feel like it could be just in general, like being famous.
Yeah.
And like having eyes on you at all times, being the spotlight around her. I think it sounds really solid. I thought it was really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10 as well.
Fair. Like, obviously, it got nominated for a Grammy, so I'm clearly wrong in my take of it. But again, it's just my personal feeling on the song. Now we move to track number 6, which is my personal favorite on the album. I think Telephone, which is track number 6, is the closest thing on this album to a perfect pop hit. I think the intro to the song is amazing. I think Lady Gaga's first verse is fantastic. Then the transition into Beyoncé is amazing. And then Beyoncé just sounds like Destiny Child Beyoncé. And then them together at the end is just amazing. There's not much you could critique with the song. I don't know how you make it better. I gave it a 9.2 out of 10.
You could clearly make it better. There's a 0.8 missing, silly.
Yeah, sure. But I just said I don't know how you make it better.
That's fair. Yeah, it's like you said, this was a song written for Britney Spears, and you can kind of, like, once you know this, you can kind of hear it. But, like, Lady Gaga does very, very well making it her own, to the point where, like, I feel like if Britney Spears did do it, it would just be like a cheap little cover.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she would hit some parts, and then would just completely flat in others. And I also don't think, like, a lot of people can go, like, voice for voice with Beyoncé like this.
Yeah.
In this situation, like, song's very nostalgic too. Again, it's one of those songs you just heard everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hit, man. It's an 8.5 out of 10. It's the Fear of Suffocation, by the way.
Yeah.
Which you hear in the lyrics.
It's a song about her wanting to just go out and have fun during her, like, huge fame uptick, and not wanting to be interrupted by who she's dating, by managers, by anybody. And so it's about her not answering her phone when she's going out and enjoying her free time. And then we move to track number 7, which is So Happy I Could Die. What did you think? Yeah,
dude, this song felt like late 2000s. Like, it felt like late 2000s. It's a good song. It's about alcoholism. It is also the fear of alcohol. That's the theme, right? opens like so many dimensions to it. It's kind of like Sia's Chandelier,
Yeah.
where everything like it paints alcohol as like this wonderful thing, but like there's always that impending like sense of like it's wrong, and you can feel that in the song as well.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 8.5 out of 10.
Fair. I said that Gaga does a really great job of mixing her unique sound with other genres. Like this sound, I've never heard the song before. This listen, and I thought it had like a late '90s, early 2000s like R&B pop sound to it. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah, and then we move to the last track on the Fame Monster portion of the Deluxe Edition. Track 8 is called Teeth. Or Thief.
It's Teeth.
It's a Teeth, okay.
It's definitely Teeth.
I wrote it down. I added an H for some reason.
So
my right now Theeeth.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Teeth. Oh my goodness. Yeah, everyone thinks you're stupid now. Yeah. Woo. Anyways, yeah, man, this song was all right. I felt like there could have been more. Like it felt like there was like more to it.
Yeah.
That she just never like hit that limit to.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, it was probably my lowest rated song of this first half.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. It did feel like a song that belonged in a movie or a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So
here is another track where I don't believe you can listen to the song and not tell me it sounds like it is a song from Christina Aguilera. It sounds like Christina Aguilera is singing it. It even uses some of her vocal things she does. Like I stopped the song on my first listen and I had to make sure I was still listening to Lady Gaga because I thought it was Christina Aguilera. It sounds like her. And then when we were listening to the album earlier today with you, that's why I said, yep, my notes are correct because I instantly thought it was Christina Aguilera again. It's not a bad thing. It's a props to Lady Gaga for being able to expand her vocal range and vocal ability so well to sound like other pop stars and like do what they do so well and be able to do it just as well. I thought it had a good stompy beat. It had great vocals, obviously. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Fair. Hey, look, we finally matched one.
Yeah.
So proud of us. We came so far. All right. So then we get into this too, which is just The Fame. It is the same as the 2008 album, The Fame.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it also stops the whole like theme of fear thing here as well. I don't know if I said Teeth was the fear of truth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And it starts equally as strong, in my opinion, with Just Dance.
Yeah.
Which is super impressive because she wrote this song in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. 10 minutes.
Apparently, after meeting someone. Was this one after she meets someone? Ooh, it was either this one or the next one. Either way, she wrote it in 10 minutes. It's incredible. Like, it's insane.
And it's not the only one on the album that she wrote. Apparently, Bad Romance was also written in a short time frame.
Love Game was written in 4 minutes.
Yeah, so she just pumps out the lyrics and is like, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a superstar for you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it is just as strong as the start of Disc 1, in my opinion. Maybe a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
However, I gave it the same score of an 8.5 out of 10, but like it's Just Dance. It's pleasing to the ear. You heard it everywhere. It's a hit song. It's good. Like it's not really much more you can say about it. Just Dance.
Yeah. As Alex said, it was the lead single off of her first album, The Fame. So it was the first song everybody heard from her. And what's unique about it is if you listen to Just Dance and then you go to other Lady Gaga stuff like Paparazzi, Poker Face, Telephone, like Alejandro, it's not the same. Like you wouldn't. I didn't think it was the same person when I first listened to him. But Just Dance is a very good pop anthem. It's a great song. And I think it was the smartest play by Interscope to have this be her lead single. It was a huge success in the clubs and parties everywhere. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Nice. Matched again. 2 for 2 right now.
We're fantastic at this.
Then
Then we move to track 10, which is Love Game. I'll be honest, of all of her like pop fame, like popular songs, Love Game is probably my least favorite of them all. It's not a bad song by any means. It's just like if I had you line up all of her mainstream success songs, Love Game's at the bottom on the list on them. Good vocals, just something with it just doesn't click with me. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so I'm the same. I think like it's another classic that really cemented her into like a household name for sure. And like it was a popular song on the radio, but in comparison to like the first few on the other disc and the first few on this disc, it is definitely probably her weakest note. The fact she read it in 4 minutes gave her an extra like half a point for me. I'm not gonna lie, like that's impressive. Like it's a good song for 4 minutes. Like it's insane. Like even if it's not like the beat and stuff, like just making that work is insane.
No, it makes sense that you would love it because you love being able to do quick art that is amazing. And then people are like, "Oh, you must have spent hours on this."
And then you lie and say yes.
Exactly.
Anyways, so yeah, I gave this an 8 out of 10.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I thought this is a good song. It is a good song, but it is one of the weaker of her big hits.
Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
This next one, Paparazzi, in my opinion, is her biggest or the best of her big hits.
Okay, fair.
This song is insane. It's one of my personal favorites of her in general. So personal favorite on the album. It works incredibly well. It's catchy. The music video is insane. It's just a good song. It's just a good song. Like out of all her songs that I listened to, this is the one that's still stuck in my head from today. Like Paparazzi is just my favorite. I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, rightly so. It deserves that rating. This goes back to what I say about Lady Gaga all the time. She is a visual performer. This song is a great story. It is a visual song. I wish I would have been able to see this. I wish I would have been able to see Lady Gaga in concert. I think it would have been fantastic just to see the spectacle. And especially this song. I would love to see it in person. I think everything that she would do with the song would be just amazing. She goes hard in all of her performances. I don't know what else you could say about Paparazzi. If you don't know it, go listen to it. Plain and simple. 8.5 out of 10 for me. Like I said, I like Telephone better. Telephone's my favorite of our massive hits, but Paparazzi's right up there. Then we move to another smash of hers. Track 12, Poker Face.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So it's a great song. But it did become kind of a meme.
It did.
To me at this point. Like I can't help but have my childish mind. Anytime I hear poker face, poker face, I picture someone poking her in the face over and over and over again. And so it's just a meme to me at this point in my head. Like still great song, great sound, great. It was fantastic the first like 50 times I listened to it. And then I started memeing it because I heard it so much. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I actually I gave it 8.5 out of 10, but it was one of those songs that like for some reason compared to all the other hits at the time, this one felt like it was played the most.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't go anywhere without eating. Like you went and ate at like a Chinese buffet and this shit was playing for some reason. Like, like
sorry to interrupt your normally scheduled music, but we have the new hit by Lady Gaga, Poker Face.
And it just felt like Poker Face was the only one that got that treatment. Like,
yeah.
And it was like to the point where like, I'm pretty sure we went to a hotel in like 2015 or something. And it was like elevator music.
Oh yeah.
It was to the beat of the poker. Yeah. Dude, I don't know what it was about it. It was everywhere, like actually everywhere. But yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't think it deserves that much, but like it's still an 8.5 out of 10. It's still a good song.
Yeah, it's still a good song. It just happened to be one of those songs, and you're bound to get it with so many radio hits that just gets overplayed, and this just happened to be the one that got overplayed. Just like Love Game to me, they got just overplayed. But then we moved to track 13. Only 10 more tracks after this one. This one is called Nothing Else I Can Say.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just
Yeah. I instantly did not like the beat. And again, this is number one of the songs. So I was like, maybe when I looked at my notes, maybe it was just the first time listening it. I was 13 songs deep into this album, and with a lot of good songs, and maybe it just was but then when I heard it again today, yeah, same reaction. Instantly did not like the beat. And I'm gonna harp on it. I think like a lot of the songs that were added to this deluxe edition and her first two albums were songs that were made for other people, because again, this doesn't sound like a Lady Gaga song. It sounds like it was a song made for someone else, and the studio was forcing them to put some of these songs on her album because they know they fit the formula for pop hits. And this one was made for Ariana Grande. It sounds like it was made for that Ariana Grande type that was in the 2010, 11 time frame. So where it was like bubbly pop, candy pop. I gave it a 5 out of 10. It is my least favorite song. It is my lowest rated song on the album.
Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. The quality of this song, as soon as it played, it felt like such a downgrade. It was insane. And I know that it follows suit, like other songs follow suit on this quality thing. And at some point I just forgot about it. And I don't know if I just got used to it or not. So like, take that with a grain of salt, but definitely like going from Poker Face to it, like the quality sound like this was just like not polished as much as the other ones. Like they were just like, okay, we're just gonna throw this on because you have that 4 song run, and most people are only gonna care about those 4 songs or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold up as much.
No.
It's almost Whiplash. Oh God, from like the other songs, it just doesn't feel the same. It's like you said, it doesn't feel like a Lady Gaga song. It does slowly grow on you as you listen to it, and that's the only reason why I gave it a 6 out of 10, because initially it was a 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair. Like I said, I just didn't like it from the start. And while like it didn't turn horrible, I couldn't get Ariana Grande singing it or some other poppy like bubblegum pop star singing it out of my head. I'm like, that's just not what I expect from Gaga at this point.
This one probably is my least favorite track, and it's tied for my least favorite like rating. So
yeah. Then we move to track 14, which is Beautiful, Dirty, Rich. I didn't take a lot of notes. I thought it had an interesting sound. I was not mad at it at all. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a more upbeat song. I put here suffers the same quality issues I fear. It's better than the last song for sure. It's much better than I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It doesn't seem like it's much better, but remember, I started at a 5 with so
yeah. So we weren't not much. We say like some of these tracks towards the end, like you're far into the album, and there are definitely some throwaway tracks I feel on the album later on as we're going. Speaking of which, we move to track 15, which is the namesake of her first album, The Fame. Just like I said 2 songs ago with another song that I think sounds like it was written for someone else. This time, I think it was written for Gwen Stefani. It sounds like a song that was
you're pulling out female artists out of your ass at this point.
No, I'm telling you, like you go listen to it. It sounds like it's not made for Lady Gaga. It is made for another solo female artist who was big at the time that she was shopping the songs to. And like I give her props. It is nothing against her. Like I feel like it's a studio that made her do it. I give her props for being able to do so many different sounds so flawlessly, because she is fantastic in them all. It just isn't her sound. I did give the song a 7 out of 10. I did enjoy the song. It just doesn't hold up to the other 8 bangers she has.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. It kind of kept the same energy, in my opinion, as Beautiful Dirty Rich, except a little bit more show tuney, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So it's about the same rating.
Then we move to track 16, Money Honey. What do you think, Alec?
So I don't say this often, okay? And while we were listening to it, I had to ask you because this sounds very similar to something that was on this track earlier. And I listened to this in one sitting, so I'm about 40 minutes in, 50, maybe over an hour. I don't know. I'm roughly deep. I'm deep in it, right? And I was like, yeah, this beat is very, very similar to a song. That song turned out to be Poker Face because they use this it's on a drum set. My brain just died. It's
Symbol, I think.
Yeah, Symbol or something. They use this and it has like a certain beats afterward, and they use it in this song too. And like obviously the song was made before the other, I believe.
Yeah. So they recycled this because it wasn't a huge hit, the beat for this, and added it to Poker Face.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, right?
Well, no, I guess Poker Face was on this first album as well.
Maybe. I don't know. All I know is that whoever like produced this heard it and was like, we're going to use it again at some point. It hard distracted me during it. I gave it a 6.5, but like, yeah, I spent over half the song trying to remember which of her songs were using the same shit.
So I just, in case you're this far through and you are thinking, we don't know what we're talking about. You're right. We don't know. We definitely didn't go to school for music. I was a theater person. I perform, I act. Horrible with music. We're just going with what we personally like, how we feel. We're like the Keith Lee of music. We're just giving our out of 10. But yeah, obviously outside of the poker elements that were reused in this song, I thought it did it well enough that it worked for me. I gave it a 7 out of 10.
It's not bad.
No, I enjoyed it for what it was. It, like, obviously, like I've said in the past, when people use other instrumentals from a previous song, and it just happened that Poker Face blew up, that's what you think about when you hear that instrumental. It's Poker Face, and it's a little weird that it's her own song you're rehearing, but it didn't kill it for me, so I gave it a 7 out of 10.
That's fair. That's fair.
We're almost there, Alec. We're on track 17, Starstruck.
Yeah, man.
What did you think?
I hated the intro of this. But it features Space Cowboy and Flow Rider, and it feels like I'm just gonna call him Florida because I hate saying his name. But yeah, and it felt like more of their style of a song versus her style of a song.
Yeah,
which is not a bad thing or anything. Like, it sounds okay. But it is just okay.
Yeah.
It's probably, however, one of my favorite Flow Rider verses I've ever heard, because like he fucking slides on that shit, bro. I wasn't expecting that. I gave it. I literally put this man slides on this Lamau plus 0.5 just for that. So I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Fair. Yeah, I thought, and I brought it up to you while we were listening. I thought for a second, because I forgot we were listening to Lady Gaga, because I was like, obviously I had listened to it previously, and then we were listening. So I didn't take notes the first time on Star Trek. I just gave it a rating. I gave it a 6 out of 10. And I didn't change my rating, but I did add a note. I thought that somehow someone slipped a AI like Suno song into the album for a second, because the start of it sounds like what AI would make now. Like, I need a pop hit, make me this song, and that's what they gave you. But Flow Rider definitely saves the track from being 5 or lower. So yeah, 6 out of 10 for me. Then we move to track 18 called Boys, Boys, Boys. I can see other people, especially girls, really liking it. It's a catchy song. The chorus, boys, 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 is catchy. It feels like a teeny bop to me. I do feel like anybody could have stepped in and done the song. I don't think it's like something that only Gaga could do. It's for it being catchy. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Like, it wasn't bad, wasn't great. It was catchy, but just not a song for me. 6 out of 10.
That's fair. I lied earlier. This is my lowest rated song at a 5.5 out of 10. I don't know what it was about it. I'm just not a fan of it. It was very weird. Lady Gaga, like, I looked into it. Lady Gaga said that she described it as like a punk rock or like a rock song stuck in a pop star body or something like that, and it just didn't work for me.
Yeah, it goes back to the teeny bop, kids bop sound it had.
The thing I did notice though is that the quality of this improved. And apparently this was meant to be a single before one of the actual singles of this album was made so quickly, and it got canceled.
Oh, okay.
So I'm assuming that's why the quality was like higher. Yeah. But yeah, it's still a 5.5 out of 10. It was definitely the worst thing on this album. And this is a promise. This one's for sure the worst.
Like I said, it's for a specific audience. And they knew that's why it was going to be a single. It's for a specific audience. They wanted to get the preteen girls and like mid-teen girls into Lady Gaga before they realized that Lady Gaga's audience was the ostracized kids, the nerds, the emo kids, the people who aren't seen as your normal popular kids. That's who was attracted to Lady Gaga. And that's where she found her niche. Boys. They got so lucky. I think her career would have went in a totally different direction if Boys came out as her single.
I agree. Yeah. I think whatever replaced it, I think it might have been Paparazzi, to be honest. Whatever replaced it is a godsend.
Because if you started with just Dance and then went to Boys, you're talking about a like. Still, she probably has a good career, but you're talking the like Hannah Montana era, Miley Cyrus, the No Doubt, Gwen Stefani era. That's where she would have been stuck into instead of making her own path. With that said, we do move to track 19 called Paper Gangsta. With what we were saying, with like Boys and a couple other songs that we just passed, I personally think that if, even in this deluxe edition, if they would have took off like 4 or 5 songs, this would have been a top 20 album of all time. If they went through and chose 15 to 16 songs that they knew were great, they were like, well, we took these best songs off of Fame, added them to the new songs of Fame Monster, remastered, and here we go. This is the album we're putting out for her second album, her first studio album. She would have been a top 20 of albums all time in this list. This song, personally, I thought had good moments that were catchy and some cringe moments in it. I gave it a 6 out of 10.
That's crazy because I gave this a 7.5 out of 10. The piano beat is fire. It samples A Dream by the Margies. I don't know if I said that correctly, but you can also hear it on a Tupac song.
Yeah.
I wasn't a super fan of the auto-tune at first, but apparently this song, like that was the point, because the song is partially about Def Jam, her previous label, trying to force her into a auto-tune type role of songs before she left. But yeah, I think the song is like good and catchy. I'm not even gonna lie. I get, like I said, 7.5 out of 10.
That's fair. Completely, 100, like 6 isn't bad. Just if it got rid of the cringe moments, I probably would have liked it more.
I think you're cringe.
Yeah, definitely cringe. 35-year-old talking about music in a podcast.
True. You is 35, you old fuck.
Track number 20 called Brown Eyes. I like the start of the song. I like the whole thing, especially on the second listen. I got really more into it. It has a musical theater sound to it. I wrote down that it has like a Grease song from the musical Grease mixed with a Jonathan Larson type sound. So like Rent and the dude who wrote Rent, that's Jonathan Larson. It has his sound. So it sounds like a mixture of Grease and Jonathan Larson had a baby and it was Brown Eyes. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, yeah. So if any tracks can get taken off of this, this is a Lost Love type of song for me. It feels like it was a show tune, I guess, which makes sense of what you were saying, but you're a nerd. Yeah. So I think it's a 6 out of 10. I was really debating it going a little bit lower, but I was like, it's not as bad as Boys to me. So
no, that's fair. That's fair. Like I said, it definitely had a theater sound to it. It sounded like a theater ballad. And I enjoyed it. 21. I'm 21 called I Like It Rough. What'd you think?
Relatable. If this feels like it was should have been more towards the start of the album. I actually like the song. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. It's catchy. Feels more like a Lady Gaga song. It has her cadences, her doing the like experimentational voices and stuff, really like having her confidence back essentially. I felt like, again, it felt like it should have probably belonged in the upper echelon of this album where it was along the lines. Like it was good.
Yeah. I thought it was an interesting song with a unique sound. It doesn't like stand out to me or anything. I gave it a 6 out of 10. I was waiting for you to make fun of me for rating it so low.
No, it's good, bro. I get it.
Then we got
bad taste.
Yes, horrible taste. To the pre-ultimate. I said that wrong again, didn't I?
Penultimate, yes.
Penultimate. God dang it. The penultimate track number 22, Summer Boy. What did you think?
Yeah, this is, you've mentioned it before. She really knows how to paint a picture with her words. This is one of those songs. The title really suits the song. It does encapsulate a feel of a summer fling. It sounds like nothing else on that album, in my opinion, and it's very different. And I can see this being some people's favorite song. Like this is their song of their like summer crush or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10 because I get no bitches.
Yeah, I agree. If this would have came out in like I would relate this song or compare it to the Sabrina Carpenter songs that came out this summer. It is super catchy, sounds like a standard summer pop hit. Would have done well on TikTok. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Good song. And then we move to the final song on the album, track number 23, Disco Heaven. What did you think?
Yeah, dude, it's pretty funky. Her voice sounds really good in it. It starts at like 100, and she keeps that energy throughout the whole thing. I think it's a good end to the album, especially after the rough second half. The chorus goes hard too. I give it 8 out of 10.
Yeah. Closing out the album, Disco Heaven, it maintains the energy of the album, which is important. You keep that energy as the album continues, and you're not let down with the final song. It was a fitting end to the Fame Monster. Overall, good song. Gave it a 7 out of 10. So yeah, that is the Fame Monster. 23 tracks. Honestly, I think the Fame Monster really is a testament to Lady Gaga's versatility and creativity. Like she has her mainstream hits. She even has hits in that would have fit other stars. But the album definitely solidified her place as a pop icon, at least to me.
Yeah, for sure.
And just like anybody who's put out an album, especially with 23 tracks when you're putting 2 albums together, not every track is going to be a hit. But as a whole, it is a great milestone in pop music. It shifted how pop music worked. Her whole mix of anthems, unique sounds, the theatrical flair, her touring, all of that has to be put in together for this album. I gave the album an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave the album a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, it's a good album.
Those are my thoughts. 7.5 out of 10.
I said it all for you. No worries.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, you summed it up pretty good.
Yeah, it's a very good album. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I would take off like 6 tracks, and I think it would have been good, or it would have been great. It would have been a 9 or a 10. This has been a very long episode. We are at 52 minutes at this point of recording.
For the longest album so far, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. We thank you if you have made it through this almost hour-long podcast episode. It is that time, Alec. The people deserve it. Give them a shout
easy peasy, dude. Shout out to all the theater nerds out there, and that includes you, Randy. You guys should look at Lady Gaga with some inspiration. Honestly, she's doing everything you guys want to do.
No, fair. That's 100% fair.
Yeah, and you should follow her footsteps. Go for it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you'll be as good, because those are some big shoes to fill. But damn it, at least maybe you can get in your local theater program.
Sure, yeah. If you are a theater person watching this, or if you like acting, or if you're just a person that wants to try something anywhere, get ready to hear no a lot. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If it's you're trying to bring up something at work, a new plan, if you're auditioning for something, if you're writing something, you're going to hear no an awful lot.
Here's a couple pro tips, actually, Randy. For that, 1, if you don't want to hear no's, buy some earplugs. 2, you can just never have them say no. Just be good enough for them to always say yes. 3, threaten them with a knife or a gun. You'll never hear a no, probably.
Yeah, sure. You will hear something. Probably sirens and a jail cell.
That's not our problem.
And Billy Bob.
This isn't also legal advice, by the way.
Yeah, don't take anything he says.
No, you should understand. This is advice. It's just unethical.
But we thank you guys for listening to our episode. We hope you enjoyed. We hope you enjoy Lady Gaga. And we hope that you share, like, and comment on this podcast episode. We are everywhere that podcast can be found. You can find us on all social media sites under Hypothetically Sound. And until next time, we thank you again, and we hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
Deuces.
Bye.
Bye. Telling people to bring knives and guns. Man.
Bro,
crazy.
like, you telling them that they're going to hear no. Like, fucking believe in them, dog. I believe in them, and if they're not, make them say yes.
Thank you for listening to Hypothetically Sound. We hope you enjoyed the episode. All episodes can be found at hypotheticallysound.podbean.com, as well as on Apple, Spotify, and Pandora. For full unedited video versions of the podcast, please visit us at youtube.com/hypotheticallysound.